Hey there everybody, this is Ray Carsillo and we are at the Sony PS3 Q1 Preview Party. We're going to try and take a look at God of War 3, Dark Void, Dantes Inferno, and much, much more as Sony prepares for a strong beginning to 2010. How you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. Thank you very much.
The first thing I gotta ask is, of course, I mean, everybody knows God of War 1 and 2 and has followed the story. So we have to know is where does God of War 3 pick up, and where is Kratos in now, like mentally, after all the stuff that he's been through from the first two games?
Sure. Well, we wanted extreme consistency with the past two God of Wars. This is the final, part of the trilogy that we started with God of War 1. So we pick up exactly where God of War 2 left off. Kratos is riding the back of the Titan Gaia, as she's heading up Mount Olympus to go after the gods. So that's exactly where you start with God of War 3, although now you're going to see it in about 3 times the level of complexity in HD.
That was something that we noticed. I played the quick demo here, which is just the scale of everything. Talk about how you were able to make the scale so much bigger than the first two games.
Well, the PS3 itself gives us, a lot more horsepower with the SPUs. So we can cram a lot more polygons in, a lot more effects. And literally, when I said 3 times, I'm not kidding. It's taken us 3 times as long to create the same, creatures, models, at least the same complexity as it did on the PS2. But in terms of what's new in the technology that we're showing tonight is we actually have what's called soft body collision. So Kratos can now walk along one of these Titans, and that can become a level as it moves around. So instead of just having a flat box-like shape that you're having your battles in, you can have it in anything, any kind of organic shape, and we make ample use of that.
And I really want to thank you so much for a few minutes, and this game looks fantastic. And
it has been 500 years since we last met.
You did it.
My name is Balder, but if you so choose, you may address me as Father.
I'm here with Tu, who is the one of the PR people for Sega, and we are looking at Bayonetta behind us right now, and this is a phenomenal looking game. Can you tell us a little bit about the plot of Bayonetta?
Yeah, sure. I'm glad you enjoyed the game. So Bayonetta is a high impact action title. The basis is Bayonetta is a witch who is put to slumber for 500 years and is reawoken in present day, and she has no recollection of who she is or what she was before. So basically, as you play through the game, you'll be able to unravel and unlock the mysteries behind what her purpose is in the game.
Now, I was playing through the demo, and it has a very Devil May Cry feel to that. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. The game, of course, was made originally from the original creator of Devil May Cry. He actually came from Clover Studios and now formed Platinum Games, and he basically created Bayonetta for Sega.
Or how big is the world that Bayonetta has to go through?
I think I believe there's over 10 chapters in the game, or 30 different stages, and it takes about a little over 12 hours to play through the game. But even if you play through the game once, the 12 hours, you won't be able to unlock everything within the game. So definitely we encourage you to, play through it again.
I will reclaim my rightful place in paradise. My path will be paved with the sins of man, and yours, Dante, shall be the bedrock of my return. And all that is good shall be gone from the universe forever.
And I'm here with Ronnie Shamas, who is the product manager for Dantes Inferno, of course, for EA, and it's one that looks like a fantastic game from what I've seen of it so far. But for those people who might not be familiar with the story of Dante and Dantes Inferno, could you explain the plot a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So it's based on part 1 of the Divine Comedy, which is called Dantes Inferno, and which is a poem. A lot of people don't even know that it's a poem. So you play as Dante, the main character from the story, and It's an adaptation from the poem, so we've taken some creative liberties. In the game, you're actually on a rescue mission. That's how the game starts, and you're after your long-lost love, Beatrice.
Now, so from what I've seen from the demo early on is that there's, I mean, it looks beautiful 3D-wise, but some of the cutscenes are done actually 2D. What was the decision that went into that?
So Blur Studios is actually doing some of the cinematics in the game, and I don't know if you're familiar with them, but they do some pretty phenomenal work. And actually, the game begins with a Blur cinematic, and they really help develop the story. And you see both Dante as a crusader, and also as he progresses through Hell, you get some cutscenes in Hell as well. So they really help shape the storyline and advance the plot that way.
Another interesting thing about the design and the look of the game is that it looks like Dante has like a cross actually stitched into his chest.
Yeah.
Like where did that inspiration come about?
So that the reason why we have the tapestry sewn in, he actually sews it himself into his chest, and you actually see that happen in the very beginning of the game. It's sort of a play on the sins of the flesh, because we're basically doing that to show you that Dante himself is a sinner, and each image on the tapestry represents one of Dante's sins.
For centuries, they have waited. Now, the conflict for our world begins. Dark Void. Coming
I
soon.
have the extreme pleasure now of talking with Morgan Gray, who is the senior producer at Capcom, on this fantastic game coming out called Dark Void, which if you're not familiar with, it's a mix of first-person shooter and dogfighting in the air, and I mean, it's like...
Jetpack dogfighting, not just dogfighting with a jetpack.
Yeah.
This is
Well, I guess the first question is where's the inspiration for this awesome idea come from?
madness. After madness, so we knew we wanted to have a shooter game, like third-person running gun, that wasn't just hallway room. So we figured if we took the ceiling off that and really had like all three axes of combat, we'd want some air stuff, right? Airtight games. All worked on Crimson Skies on Xbox One, so they knew flight. We'll add some flying in. Lead designer had a brilliant moment when, how about flying with a jetpack? We all went, yes. And then we went, has there been a jetpack game? And we went, there hasn't been a jetpack game. We're in there. And so that's sort of the genesis of what had became a 2.5-year-long romp of finishing this title, but fun start.
So aside from going around flying and shooting everybody, what's the plot of Dark Void?
So you play as Will. He's sort of down as a cargo pilot. Against his better judgment, takes a cargo run through the Bermuda Triangle as a shortcut during a storm. Not the smartest thing. He ends up in this alien dimension called the Void, where he hooks up with a group of sort of ragtag humans that are throwing off the shackles of the alien oppressors, the Watchers. They do a lot with UFO conspiracies. So the Watchers have been coming and abducting people from Earth since Babylonian times. So they also have a sort of a brain behind the freedom movement, Nikola Tesla, the man who builds your jetpack. All these groups join together and basically on a quest to get back home to Earth and slam the door in the aliens' faces to stop them from coming back.
Just Cause 2. Coming 2010.
Tell us a little bit about the plot of Just Cause 2.
In Just Cause 2, he plays the main character, Rico Rodriguez. He is on a mission to find his mentor, Tom Sheldon, on the island of Penal. It's a fictional island in Southeast Asia.
There's something else I noticed while playing the game is that you have a claw, kind of Bionic Commando style a little bit. Talk to us about a little bit how the claw kind of developed and what you can do with it in the game.
Just Cause 2 focuses a lot on vertical gameplay. Basically, it's about parachuting, combining with the grappling hook. There's so many different ways that you can play the game. You can use the grappling hook to pull enemies towards you, shoot them in the air, or grapple two enemies together, or even hook an enemy to a moving vehicle, things like that. It's awesome.
So folks, it looks like it's going to be a very strong first quarter for Sony. Of course, God of War 3, Dark Void, Dantes Inferno, Bayonetta, all look phenomenal. And of course, a very special thanks to everybody who took a couple minutes to talk to me about those games today. Everything looks fantastic. At the Sony PS3 first quarter premiere party, I am Ray Carsillo.